Bonjour French students, bienvenue aux vidéos finales de chapitre 6, les contes. Okay, so we have been wrapping up this chapter with our study of le passé composé et l'imparfait, and I promised you one last topic that we'll take a look at here that I think will help you with one of the items on the exam. We'll have one exercise that looks at the difference between the passé composé et imparfait. It won't be in the context of a story, but I think the stories that we'll see here in this presentation will really help us understand the difference between when to choose l'imparfait and passé composé, which are tenses that don't quite exist in the same way in English that they do in French. Okay, and I think it'll also be helpful just to hear the stories spoken and to hear a little bit of French too. Okay, les contes, it's kind of like a short story. It's kind of like related to the English verb to recount something, like to tell something. So we're talking about telling stories. Okay, Eric et Michel sont allés voir le film classique La Belle et la Bête de Jean Cocteau. So they went to see the classic film Beauty and the Beast by Jean Cocteau. Connaissez-vous ce film? Okay, do you know this film? Of course, we all know this story, right? Okay, connaissez-vous le conte des faits sur lequel ce film est basé? So do we know the elements of the story that this film is based on? You'll notice in each of the short paragraphs below that I've highlighted all the imparfait verbs in red, and then I've highlighted all the passé composé verbs in green, so they stand right out to you. You can see right away kind of the sequence of verb tenses, and you'll notice that there's kind of a pattern to it. One paragraph here at the top, we see imparfait. The second one, we see passé composé. We jump back to imparfait, and we finish up with passé composé. So we kind of see a little bit of a pattern of time frames, the way the events of the story unfold. Okay, so let's start with the first paragraph. Il était une fois un vieux marchand qui avait 3 filles. Sa plus jeune fille, Belle, était très jolie, douce et gracieuse. Okay, so what are we doing in this paragraph? If you remember a little bit about what we've learned about the imparfait, and we can even jump to this next slide to remind us of what this verb tense does in French. Okay, so what was already going on? Descriptions of the scene or the setting, background information about the characters, okay, interrupted actions in progress. I think we're really seeing the first 2 bullet points here. Description of the scene and setting and background information about the characters. So, il était une fois, definitely background information. Okay, un vieux marchand qui avait 3 filles. So here are our characters entering the scene, and what are they like? Belle était très jolie, douce et gracieuse. So we're describing her, the main character, and kind of setting the scene, who the people are and what they were doing. Okay, un jour, la bête a emprisonné le marchand. Okay, so one day the beast imprisoned the merchant, le marchand. Belle a promis à la bête de venir prendre la place de son père. So one day the beast imprisoned the merchant, her father, Belle's father. Belle a promis à la bête, so she promised the beast, de venir prendre la place de son père. She promised to come and take the place of her father. So, un jour, this is a key term right here. I'm going to even highlight this one in green because it's really related to these choices of passé composé. One day this happened. One day the beast imprisoned her father. He did it on that one day. On that same day, Belle promised to the beast that she was going to come and take his place. So, looking at passé composé, why do we use passé composé? When we're talking about a sequence of events that advance the storyline, maybe actions interrupting something in progress. So if we look back at our story, okay, here's the background of the story. Il était une fois. Okay, Belle était très jolie, douce et gracieuse. Un jour. So this interrupted all those other things going on in the background. the beast imprisoned her father, and she promised that she was going to come and take his place. So we can see specific actions that happened on a specific day, and they kind of interrupted in some way what was already happening there. Ok. Le monstre était horrible. Il était grand et laid, et il avait l'air féroce. Au début, Belle avait très peur de lui, mais elle était toujours gentille et patiente avec lui. Oh, the monster was terrible, horrible. He was big and ugly, and he had this kind of ferocious character about him. In the beginning, au début, she was very afraid of him, but she was always very nice and patient with him. Okay, so all of this imparfait description is basically just kind of describing the characters in the story. So again, if we go back to what the imparfait does, describing the scene, background information about the characters. That definitely fits the bill here. So we know more about La Bête, we know more about Belle, we know what kind of characters they were, we know how they felt while all of this was going on. So perfect situation for imparfait. Ok, finalement, enfin, petit à petit, little by little, les choses ont changé. Belle et la Bête ont commencé à se parler. La Bête a beaucoup changé et Belle a appris à apprécier le monstre. Finalement, Belle est tombée amoureuse de lui. Et la Bête a aussi appris à aimer, à suivre. And so, petit à petit, I'm going to go ahead and highlight this one in green too, because it's another time expression that determines what we're going to choose for our verb tenses in the rest of that paragraph. So, little by little, it means a succession of events, things that happened one by one. Les choses ont changé. Okay, so what changed? Belle et la Bête ont commencé à se parler. They started to talk to each other. La Bête a beaucoup changé. So the beast changed a lot. Notice that beaucoup, a lot, goes in between the conjugated verb. A beaucoup changé. Et Belle a appris à apprécier le monstre. She learned to appreciate the monster. So he changed, she learned to appreciate him. Finalement. We can even highlight this one in green because it is another time expression that shows us how these events are progressing. Finalement, Bête est tombée amoureuse de lui. So she fell in love with him. That happened at the end of all of these things. Notice that tomber is a verb conjugated with être in this case, in passé composé. So we have the extra E on the end to indicate that it is Belle who fell in love with him. Et la Bête a aussi appris à aimer. So he also learned to love in the case of this story. So this last paragraph, just like we saw with the second paragraph, is talking about a sequence of events that advance the storyline. And in some way, those actions interrupt something that was in progress, which was the description of the characters. So the characters basically stay the same for a long period of time, but as we progress through the events of the story, we see that they do change. Okay, we can see something similar in the story of Cendrillon, Cinderella. So we see all of these verbs here that are highlighted, except that I am going to go ahead and highlight these in green because that's what we did in the previous slide to show passé composé, and the others we'll leave as they are. Okay, so il était une fois. You notice that we see this expression for stories. We saw it in the last one too. Il était une fois, kind of like once upon a time. So setting the scene. Il était une fois une belle jeune fille qui s'appelait Cendrillon. Okay, so Cinderella, a beautiful young girl who was named Cinderella. Son père était mort et elle habitait avec sa belle-mère et ses deux demi-sœurs. So she or her father was dead, he passed away, and she lived with her stepmother and her two half-sisters. Sa belle-mère était cruelle et ses demi-sœurs étaient laides et très gâtées. And so her stepmother was cruel, her half-sisters were ugly and spoiled. We know the story, right? C'était Cendrillon qui faisait tout le travail, mais elle était toujours belle et gracieuse. Kind of like Belle in La Bête et Belle. Okay, so it was Cinderella who did or was doing all the work, but she was always beautiful and gracious. Okay, so all of this information right here is, if we go back to our previous slide, descriptions of the scene, the setting, background information about the characters. We see exactly the same thing we saw in the Beauty and the Beast story. Okay, now, un jour, le prince a décidé de donner un bal au palais et un messager est allé chez Cendrillon avec une invitation. So one day, so these things happened on that one day. These are events that happened and finished on that day. So le prince a décidé, the prince decided, he's decided on that day, de donner un bal au palais. So he was giving a ball at the palace. A messenger est allé. Un messager est allé. The messenger came. And un messager is masculine. Notice that aller is conjugated with être, but we don't have the extra e here because messager is masculine. Okay, so un messager est allé chez Cendrillon avec une invitation. So the messenger showed up. He went to Cinderella's home and brought an invitation. So, as they tell us here, there are only two events that occur advancing the story. The prince decided to give a ball and the messenger went to Cinderella's house. And those are the two verbs in the passé composé. All the rest of the verbs are setting the scene and describing the characters. So those are in the imparfait. Now to review all of this, when you're deciding whether to put a verb in the passé composé or the imparfait, learn to ask yourself whether you're talking about background information or something that was already in progress, which is the imparfait, or the next thing that happened in the story, passé composé. And the more you read, the more you get exposed to these two tenses, the easier they'll be to sort out, I think. Okay, so I hope those two stories gave you a stronger, more solid feeling about how these two verb tenses work and that you'll begin to recognize them more and more in your reading of French and even speaking of French. So, à la prochaine!